me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho. H to the O-V.
Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beast of the East, Ryan Amorca, Scott Thompson, coming to you live from Studio A here at Ramapo College of New Jersey in Mahwah, New Jersey. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, Scott, and most of it is not good. You hear that sound, Scott? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
That is the sound of Giant fans all across the country. No exaggeration, because last night was one of the worst Giant losses.
Woeful is the word.
One of the worst Giant losses I've ever seen in my lifetime. Number one, it's got to be Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
This is probably number two.
Yeah. I mean, what is there to say? Your coaching staff, your team, they just blew it. They choked. That is the definition of choking, and that's hard. Week one coming into a season with a lot of questions. Your team actually plays a great game against a team that was supposed to beat them by a touchdown.
Blow them out of the water.
No, I mean, not blow them out, but still, yeah, they weren't supposed to win this game. They played a great game, and they should have won it. And, let's get into what went wrong.
It's the thing that frustrates me. We'll get into the clock management later and whatever Eli told the crew and whatever. But what frustrates me is that you're going into the game with everyone on the Cowboys side. You go into the game, play very well. Offense plays okay. The secondary, which was probably their biggest question on defense, played very well. Rogers Cromartie had the 57-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. He played a phenomenal game last night. Tremaine McBride, unbelievable game last night. And basically, it was the complete opposite of what I expected. I expected the offense to go off, and I expected the defense to be horrendous. And it was actually the complete opposite, besides the defensive line, because the Cowboys' offensive line, we all know, is obviously a force to be reckoned with, probably the best in the league. Yeah. So you go into the game expecting to lose, and you get outplayed in the first half, but you're leading the first half. Second half, it seemed like all Giants to me. The Cowboys were not playing very well. Dez Bryant came out of the game with a foot injury. Now he's out 4 to 6 weeks with the broken foot. And then your clock management just goes right out the window. You're up 10 points with 8 minutes left in the game, and you give the game away to your division rival, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and it was obviously the defining moment of that game. And it was actually just got updates that Rashad Jennings, via Dan Graziano of ESPN.com, was told to not score when they were on the Dallas 5-yard line at the end of the game, their last drive. It's just, it blows my mind because, think about it. You're up 23-20, okay? A touchdown would put you up 30-20 with 110 seconds left in the game, okay? And to me, it just makes no sense that you wouldn't do that. They would have to score a touchdown, first of all, so they would have to go the entire length of the field. Tony Romo obviously is capable of doing that.
Most game-winning drives since 2006 in the fourth quarter.
But with your secondary playing the way they did today, yesterday, they would have to make a successful onside kick, and they would have to score again within that 110-second time span. I just don't see what the Giants did as I don't know. It was a brain fart to me. It was just a total brain fart on the coaching standpoint.
A buddy of ours from the Yes Network, you might have heard of him, Chris Sheeran. He retweeted this tweet a couple hours ago. It's some guy who I guess wrote in his notes section of his iPhone. It says, on their last drive, the Giants, left a combined total of 43 seconds on the clock by snapping the ball too early on 4 plays when the game clock was running. On those 4 plays, they had 11, 17, 10, and 5 seconds left on the play clock. The Giants also cost themselves 12 seconds with the illegal formation penalty. That penalty was at 2 minutes and 12 seconds, which stopped the clock before the 2-minute warning and allowed the Cowboys to save a timeout. Now, on 3rd and goal, if Eli takes the sack, instead of throwing the ball away, they run another 40 seconds off the clock or even if they hand the ball off to Rashad Jennings, they could have even taken the delay of game penalty before the field goal, assuming that's what they did, to add another 5 yards to the already chip shot just to waste some time. So you do the math. It's 43 seconds from the play clock, 12 seconds from the penalty, and 40 seconds from them passing the ball into the back of the end zone. That's 95 seconds. That's a minute, 35 seconds. That means the Giants failed to burn approximately a minute 35 of the game clock on their last drive. The Cowboys only had 1:29 on the game clock when they started their last drive. If the Giants manage the clock well and don't have that dumb penalty on Flowers, the illegal formation, the game's over. The game is over.
Absolutely. I mean, the math shows itself. But, it was, the coaching staff not thinking. Tom Coughlin thought that the Cowboys ran out of timeouts on that first down when Jennings ran the ball. That wasn't the case. Eli, going to Eli real quick, not falling down for a sack, which would have wasted more time. He throws the ball in the back of the end zone.
You know what's funny? Eli Manning, 12-year vet. Tom Coughlin, been a head coach in the league since 1997. Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning are wizards with the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
They are wizards with time management, and it just went completely out the window. How many times have we heard today that if Geno did it, if Mariota did it, if Winston did it, then you would say rookie mistake. But you're a 12-year vet. The rookie mistakes need to go out of the window by your 12th year in the league by now.
Yeah. It's just a complete dismantle of football fundamentals that happened within one drive, one four play series. It just makes no sense to me as a football fan because, like you said today, I would have known to fall down for a sack.
Exactly. We have somebody calling in, and hello, who is this? Who is this? Who is this?
Richard?
What is it? Is it Cell? Hold on, do we have... No, it's not Cell. It's not the number. Hold on. We know who you are.
No, it's Richard. I'm Grandpa.
Do you know what it is? Anyway. All right. I thought it was a 732 number. Oh, well. You hung up on him. That's not me.
Anyway.
All right. Call back. We apologize. That's Scott's fault. But anyway, so yeah. Really bad clock management, really bad coaching, bad decisions from Eli. But we got to bring this up. None of this is talked about if the defense doesn't completely choke with a minute and however many seconds are on the clock. The defense played great all game long. And then when it was 23-13, the Cowboys drove the ball, and that drive was way too easy. That was the first Winton touchdown. And then they did the same thing on the Cowboys' last drive. Lance Dunbar had 41 yards in 2 plays. Lance Dunbar on little passes right out in front of him.
And it's like, go ahead. Here's the lane. Just walk. Go ahead. That's basically what I saw from a team that was performing so well, and everyone was stunned at how the secondary held up against Des Bryant and the whole crew, stripping Cole Beasley, who's a very protective wide receiver. Jermaine McBride played a huge game. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, Prince Amukamara, they all played great games, and just when you wanted them to perform the most in the clutch moments, the 2 minutes make anything. NBA, NFL, just the final minutes, you got to produce. You got to say, I'm going to step up, I'm going to come in the clutch, and I'm going to stop this drive. And it was just the complete opposite.
All right, hold on. He's calling in again. All right, who is this? Hello. You hung up.
Whatever.
All right. 0 for 2. 0 for 2. Third time's a charm if you feel like calling back. The number, we want to talk to you guys, so call in 201-825-1234. That's the number, 201-825-1234. By the way, if you call in, make sure your radio is turned down because it screws up with the transmitter a little bit. So if you're going to call in, turn your radio down because we can't hear our voices through the headphones, and that's a little annoying, and then it messes up our transmission. But anyway, I want to throw back to Super Bowl 46. Ahmad Bradshaw gets the handoff. Tries to go down, doesn't, falls into the end zone, touchdown. Why didn't that happen last night? You want to waste as much time as possible. And if you throw the ball, I mean, don't get me wrong. Going for the two-possession game is not a bad idea. But it's a bad idea when nobody is open. If someone's wide open in the end zone and you want to go and you want to get ahead by 10 points, then you throw the ball. Nobody was open.
No, no one was open. And, well, Daniel Fells, they were saying if he even threw the ball in his way, he was being held so bad in the end.
Badly.
He couldn't even get off of the defender. So even if Eli put it over there, I mean, obviously, he was scrambling a little bit. Maybe wasn't paying attention, but I don't know. There were just so many things that went wrong on that drive, and it just baffles me that something so simple as running a clock, cannot be performed by two guys and a coaching staff that are veterans and have, the mindset of, I'm going to win this game. And clock management is winning a game. And this is a huge, huge game, Ryan, and you know that. Because this could come down to being the Giants might not win the East if it comes down to them having a good season because the Cowboys beat them week 1. It's just a bad way to start off. This is the stuff you get away in preseason. This is the real deal, and they just, they choke. It's
funny how we're saying this is the loss where it comes down to the division lead, and we both called that the Cowboys would win the game.
Yeah.
But predictions go completely out the window when you have the game won, and then you literally let it slip right through your fingers. Literally let it slip right through. This is up there with the Seahawks not giving Lynch the ball. It's right up there.
Yeah.
And even that, and honestly, this is a worse play call than that. I'm going to be honest. Because the Seahawks wanted to be aggressive. Marshawn Lynch, we saw it yesterday. He could not get the 1 yard in overtime. So, I mean, that's obviously one play. Who knows if Lynch would have gotten the yard. But in all seriousness, this was I usually don't blame football games on coaching, and especially with Tom Coughlin, because Tom Coughlin is a wizard when it comes to time management. He blew it. McAdoo blew it. Eli blew it. It's all three of their faults. And what I want to get into right now is what is the order of blame from 1 being the most blamed to 3 being the least?
You're talking about Coughlin, McAdoo.
Coughlin, McAdoo. And then, defense.
All right, you know what? I'm not talking about McAdoo, because McAdoo, yes, he called the play, but it ran through Coughlin. So Coughlin obviously had to advise and say, yes.
Right.
This is the play we're going to go with. Rashad, try not to score.
Right.
Okay? I think it mostly falls on Eli. Because Eli needs to understand that, okay, the play they called, this is what happened. But you need to know there is a clock in front of your face that is counting down. You're snapping at 11. You're snapping at 17. Why are you so anxious? Kill the clock. You're up by 3. You're at least going to be up by 6, which means they have to score a touchdown. Drop the clock. But no, he snap the ball real quick. I think it falls on him, and then at the end with the whole not falling for a sack, even it's just. I think number one, it falls on Eli. I think this falls on Eli, and he said in the press conference, I gotta know that. I gotta know that I have to fall for the sack. But you also know that you were snapping the ball way too early.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that clock at either 2 or 1 when you're snapping the ball. I think
Coughlin and McAdoo are not telling him snap the ball at 10 seconds.
No,
snap the ball. That's all on Eli.
Yeah.
So you make a great point when you talk about the entire drive. When you want to talk about the entire drive, then yes, you put most of the blame on Eli for not knowing how much clock is left or lack thereof. But when you talk about the play in general, it's going to be referred to as the play in Giant. We have the catch, we have the helmet catch, and then we have the the play.
That hopefully doesn't get them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. But what was I lost my track of thought for a second. Coughlin or McAdoo or both, someone needs to tell. Should Eli know to take the sack or to give the ball to Jennings or whatever? He of course should know that. But the coaches can't not tell him that. The coaches can't assume that he knows that.
Yeah.
As a coach, you have to remind your players of the situation. That's what the coaches are for. And Tom Coughlin's very good at that, analyzing the situation. How many times do we see him on the sideline going absolutely ballistic on someone? Because he knows the play. He has to analyze the play. And someone didn't tell Eli what to do. At least that's what I'm assuming. And Eli hasn't said anything anything to, what's the word I'm looking for? Anything to go against that.
Yeah.
So blame goes on Coughlin for that play. But if you want to talk about the entire drive in general, then you make a really good point with Eli. Again, snapping the ball with 11 seconds, 10 seconds,
Yeah.
snapping the ball at 17 seconds left in the play clock.
What is it? The 20? What didn't he rush the offense at one point?
Did he?
I mean, I don't know. But what's play clock? 35?
40.
40. Okay. So, yeah, even 17 seconds, that's a normal play. So, I mean, I don't get it. I think it falls on Eli most. Like, I can understand where Coughlin is coming from. I really do. Like, if you don't want him to score, I mean, you are killing the clock either way. And Eli just did a poor performance with that play call.
But why do they have to try to score with a pass? You know that if it's incomplete, the clock stops.
Exactly.
And even if they do score, they still have 1:40 left on the clock to score 2 touchdowns. We saw Romo score a touchdown in 90 seconds, if that. So you know that if they wind up getting the outside kick, then they would have solid field position at the 40, and then they would only need a field goal anyway. So a quick 15-yard out route, you're in field goal range. So why not run the ball? Run the ball. Obviously, we're stating the obvious. You've heard of this all day. But it baffles me. Why did you have to try to score throwing the ball? If you don't score on a run, unless you go out of bounds, the clock stops. Because odds are, on a 3-yard carry, if that, you're staying in bounds. On a pass, if it's incomplete, the clock is stopping, and there's no excuses whatsoever. You run the ball, you don't score, waste the clock, take the delay of game. They have 45 seconds left on the clock. And you know what? As soon as I saw Eli, because it was a play action, I saw him look for Jennings, and I was like, all right, sweet, good idea, waste the clock, even if you don't score, good plan. And then I see him hold on to the ball. And as soon as he held on to the ball, me, my dad, and my brother were watching the game. We all said that the Cowboys were going to drive the football because you know Tony Romo was capable of that, and you know that's a huge momentum swing right away because right away Dallas is saying, okay, we're going to try to take advantage of the mistakes, and Dallas did just that.
At AT&T Stadium, too.
Exactly.
I mean, you have your fans backing you after that. I mean, I don't know. It's like running a marathon, and the final 10 feet, you just start walking. That's what it felt like to me. They were playing so hard, and everything was just starting to click, and then right at the end, they just nonchalantly forgot to play the game of football. In my opinion.
Like I said, I don't usually blame a Giant game on coaching, but this one, you have to at some point.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns should not have scored. The last one, obviously, and the penalty on Dominique Rodgers-Kamari on
Which
3rd
everyone
down.
said, even Mike Pereira, the referee correspondent for NBC, said that wasn't a penalty. That's the normal pushing and shoving of a receiver and
And he didn't even push and shove.
No, he just had his hands there.
Barely.
What was it called? That he pushed his shoulder back?
And I didn't see any part of his upper body
Not at
move.
all. If anything, the receiver kind of pushed off of him at the end.
I follow a lot of Cowboy fans on Twitter because I'm friends with a lot of them. They said 2 things. When the penalty happened, they all said that's not a penalty. And then when they scored the next play, we know Cowboy fans. They will, we them boys, how about them Cowboys? It's all they do when they win. But as soon as they scored that touchdown after that penalty, not one person celebrated because they knew they didn't deserve it.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It worked. At the end of the day, it worked out in the Cowboys' favor, but it wasn't just the penalty. It was, you got to blame that on that last 2 minutes. It's awful. Coming from 2 Giants fans, this is pretty bad. And to the other Giants fans, don't say this is just week 1. That is your head coach making a dumb decision, and your quarterback making an even dumber decision through that series. That's something that should be gone in preseason. That's something that we need to worry about if that's the case for the rest of the season. Don't say it's just week 1.
And the week 1 excuse has to go when you're
Absolutely.
a 12-year veteran and you've been coaching for almost 20 years.
No.
It has to. There's no week 1 excuse.
In a division game against your biggest rival, that shouldn't happen.
You can't call for a week 1 excuse when you know what you're supposed to be doing as a fan. If you're a fan saying, why didn't they run the ball, don't give them the it's week 1 excuse.
Exactly.
Because if you know, they definitely know. But again, and now we got to talk about the defense. Played very well all game long. And then what we saw the final 2 drives, I expected that for literally the entire game.
They were a sieve. I thought it was going to happen in the first quarter, maybe in the maybe even the whole first half. Actually, we were talking about it, but in a situation like that, when we see just woeful defense, just every single play, it's like you were just letting the receivers make a catch, hopefully praying that the clock would go out. I just don't understand. And I mean, I said this today to George, actually. You got to know Jason Witten's running a curl on the goal line.
Yeah.
You got to know that Des Bryant out of the game, who's Tony Romo going to go to?
When
You have one person on him?
a rookie linebacker on Jason Witten.
I'm sorry, but that's a piece of cake for Tony Romo and Jason Witten.
And that's on Spags. I mean, I like Spags a lot. And I hate to say that he has no help with defense, but you still got to know you can't put an rookie inside linebacker on Jason Witten.
You double team Jason Witten. You know he's going to throw to him. I would take any other chance on a one-on-one with any other receiver. Cole Beasley, fine, one-on-one. Jason Witten, with the game on the line, you know he's going to throw him the ball.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. You're putting a
Absolutely.
rookie on him.
I commend Jason Witten. I love Jason Witten.
Yep.
But you know what? You got to know that's going to happen. And I don't know. It all fell apart when you needed it to, hold up. Just for a minute and a half. You would think the defense would be like, okay, they made a mistake. We have to shut this down. Nope. Not the case at all.
And I want to commend Tony Romo also. I mean, what a drive he put up.
Oh, yeah.
The hate for Tony Romo has got to stop.
He was quick. He knew exactly what he needed to do. The minute he got that chance, he was like, okay, this is what we're going to do, and he executed it to a T. To a T.
He's unbelievable. I hate, as soon as the Giants lost, this has happened. The Cowboys have won the last 5 meetings between the Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah.
So that means for the last 5 times they've played each other, you have all the Giant fans after the game going, Tony Romo has 2 playoff wins. Eli has 2 Super Bowls, so it doesn't even matter. All right, Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Tony Romo has 2 playoff wins. I guess the Giants are 1-0 now, and the Cowboys are 0-1, right?
Yeah.
Let it go. You lost. Let it go. It doesn't matter anymore. Stop talking about the past. Let it go.
That's what they're just going to have to do. I mean, yes, they made a mistake. They understand that, but I'm definitely going to see the Giants, I think, coming out bare knuckles into against the Falcons next week. And
I hope so.
They're going to, I hopefully, yeah, exactly, you hope so. Going to make a statement, hopefully, that they made a mistake and they're moving from it. Because, again, you can't dwell on the past. Yes, it was an issue, but, it's done. It's over with. Everyone understands that they were wrong, and move on.
We're moving football teams, going to the best football team in New York record-wise, the New York Jets. Beat the Cleveland Browns 31-10. Ryan Fitzpatrick, pretty impressive New York Jets debut, I'd say. He threw 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. Was that interception the one that he threw and then Marshall
Yes.
fumbled? So that's the interception.
I think, yeah. The Jets played a great game yesterday. They were a little shaky to start off, but they found their rhythm and they were good on both sides of the ball. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, in my opinion, did a very good job with that team yesterday.
Josh McCown got laid out.
Hey.
He looked like. Hold on, we have it. Where is it? I don't know what button it is. Hold on. It's somewhere over here. Where is it? It's a helicopter. Oh, here we go.
Helicopter.
This is Josh McCown after he got laid out.
A man did a full 360
out.
in the air. Yeah, Josh McCown.
And then
that was bad.
We saw God's gift, Johnny Football.
Yeah, you know how we both feel about him.
Breaking news. Johnny Football.
Yeah, he had one good play through a nice 54-yard.
That was a nice play.
That was an awesome throw. But at the end of the day, Jets defense prevailed. Jets offense most certainly prevailed. Brandon Marshall having a great game.
Brandon Marshall did a very good game. And Chris Ivory, what a day. What a day.
Oh,
I think 91 yards on 20 carries, 2 touchdowns. I hope my dad is listening to this because I almost hung up on him. My brother, and my dad, we do a fantasy league.
Okay.
Last year, who did he pick last year? He picked someone ahead of Frank. Like I said, Frank Gore is going to be good, and he didn't pick him for like 5 rounds. And then I can't remember who he picked. I hung up on him. I literally hung up on him, and we missed the playoffs. We missed the playoffs because he didn't pick who I wanted to pick. And this year, I hung up on him again because he picked Chris Ivory. But yesterday, Chris Ivory proved me wrong. He played very well. He was a bull. He averaged over 4 yards a carry. And that's what the Jets need, especially right now. If they don't have a quarterback situation, you're going to have to rely on Chris Ivory a lot this year. 90 yards in game 1. Sure, it's Cleveland. Cleveland does have a pretty good defense, though.
Yeah.
They're high in fantasy rankings. So good for Chris Ivory, and the Jets played a pretty good game yesterday.
Yeah, actually, honestly, I think Chris Ivory could have had more than 100 yards. They brought in Powell a lot. But he made the best of the situation, 20 carries, 91 yards, 2 TDs. Fantasy owners are a lot happy.
A buddy of mine, Augie, at Augie Sports, go follow him on Twitter. He tweeted to me, 68 yards by Chris Ivory came after contact.
Jeez. And that the Jets are not used to seeing, in my opinion.
No.
He gets knocked down at the line, and it shows. Chris Ivory, again, as the Giants didn't step up, the Jets stepped up. Chris Ivory stepped up. Yesterday, and I think we're definitely going to see that throughout the season.
I like what I saw out of Brandon Marshall yesterday. A lot of toughness on that interception. He literally I forgot who intercepted it, but he stripped it out of the defender's hands. He is happy to be a Jet. He wants to win. He has very high expectations for this team, and he liked Geno Smith a lot. Obviously, he's down with the jaw injury after the fight in the preseason, but Brandon Marshall is high on this football team, and he wants to win, and he proved it right there. And he even had a good game. 6 catches, 62 yards, a touchdown. Nice day by Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, a lot of people said that his strip on it was Gibson intercepted the ball from Fitzpatrick yesterday. But they said that was the game's turning point. They were down 7-0, 10 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Fitzpatrick was picked off. Everyone's like, oh, here we go already. But, Marshall made a great play. And then they returned to what did they return the ball to? Cleveland's 11-yard line.
Something like
so
that.
they set up perfectly. Two plays later, scored, game tied.
Jets Talk. Make sure you call 201-825-1234. Beasts of the East. Ryan Warwick and Scott Thompson on WRPR 90.3 FM. The bad news about the Jets, though, Antonio Cromartie down with the sprained knee.
Well, bittersweet because it looked real bad.
Yeah.
Everyone thought ACL, MCL, meniscus, whatever else you could think of with a knee, and luckily it is just sprained. He is week to week right now.
He's not. They say he's not ruled out for next week.
Next week, yeah, no. So.
Oh, by the way, the Colts were terrible yesterday.
Oh God, awful.
I mean, Buffalo played a great game.
Told you
yesterday.
they'd be rejuvenated with Rex Ryan there.
Oh, absolutely. But I was surprised. I mean, I know, like the Colts, they're supposed to have one of the top offenses in the league, and they were bad.
Yeah, real bad. I mean, what happened yesterday?
I don't know. T.Y. Hilton got hurt. He might be week to week. They're saying he might miss a game or two.
And Sean McCoy didn't even have a good game.
Did he have a touchdown? I don't remember.
41 yards, 2.4 averaging. That's it.
Wow.
Nothing.
Yeah, Bills played a really good game yesterday. They're a good team. Every team in that division is very good. They all have a very solid. The Patriots probably have the worst defense in that division. They still have the best offense,
which gets them out of every single mishap they might have.
Pretty much. But Buffalo's defense is incredible. The Dolphins have an incredible front four. We already know about the New York Jets defense. Buffalo played a really good game yesterday, and I was surprised that the Colts got absolutely manhandled.
Yeah.
So week one predictions. Me, you, and George are both 8. We're all 8-4.
Brandon was 8-6. Brandon was 10-4. So we got two games tonight.
I don't even remember who I picked. I have to look at that paper.
I think everyone picked Eagles Vikings except for you.
I picked Falcons.
I think you said Falcons Vikings.
I picked Falcons Vikings.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Want to go bold predictions for tonight?
Bold predictions?
Bold predictions for
Who's
tonight.
my key player tonight?
Yeah. Both games.
Both games. I think my key player, definitely for the first game, the Eagles-Falcons game, is going to be DeMarco Murray. I think if you want someone to make a statement about, letting him go and getting picked up and, making a new out of something that he never, in my opinion, I never saw this coming at all. I thought Jerry Jones would give his left leg for DeMarco Murray after the season last year.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have a great game tonight against the Falcons defense, who's a little iffy to me.
Their offense is incredible, though.
Yeah, definitely my breakout player tonight is going to be DeMarco Murray.
Adrian Peterson. Ready for this? Anita Marks said that Adrian Peterson would rush for 2,500 yards.
And I don't doubt it at all.
Really?
I really don't. I don't.
2,500?
This man's on a mission.
25.
Hey, listen. I think after everything that's happened to him, Adrian Peterson, in my opinion, still is the best running back in the game right now. I just saw that calculator. Well, what does he have to rush every game?
156.25 yards a game. There's no way. You know what?
Stop.
Hold on.
I'll say yes, you say no.
I do. He was going to have to rush for 156 yards a game if he wants to get to 2,500. He's not going to get to 2,500, but I'll tell you this. Adrian Peterson is going to rush for over 175 yards tonight against the 49ers.
Yeah.
The 49ers' defensive line is terrible. They lost everybody. They lost everybody.
It's like they all just got up and said bye.
Basically.
Who was that? Patrick Willis?
Patrick Willis retired. Chris Borland retired. Justin Smith retired. Alden Smith is in jail.
Raiders.
So jail, yeah. That was
Actually, just got a quick update. Giants QB Eli Manning admits he did tell Rashad Jennings not to score on the 2-run plays inside the Dallas 5 yesterday. So that's both from Jennings and Eli saying that was the
I don't
case.
get. Don't they? There are clocks all over the place. There are clocks all over the place, and they couldn't see.
All right, we're past that.
I don't get. No, I don't get it. There are clocks all over the place, and oh my god, this is what Eli's saying right now.
I'm legally blind.
There you go. Eli's legally blind. I'm legally blind. What are you doing? It's 6:35.
We talked a lot.
We did talk a lot because the Giants are a joke. Giants are a flat out joke. But you know what? Update time. Here's Scotty T with the updates.
All right, we got a Ramapo updates. Women's volleyball. Saturday sweep beat Cairn University 3-0, winning the sets with a combined score of 75-15, an absolute blowout. A few hours later, they played Emmanuel College 3-0. Ramapo hitting percentage at .571 against Cairn, 192 against Emmanuel. Larissa Iwaskew with 22 kills on the day, 7 aces against Emmanuel. Emily Harris with 26 digs on the day. Caitlin McIver with 33 assists, 25 against Emmanuel. The team moves to 2-1 overall. Back in action on Wednesday as they take on Mount St. Mary's College at the Bradley Center at 7 p.m. On to women's soccer. There we go. Took down Centenary College 3-1 yesterday. They moved to 4-0 on the season. Skylar Ray Backey with 2 goals. Back in action on Wednesday when they travel to Drew University. On to men's soccer, they unfortunately lost their first game of the year on Saturday when Eastern Connecticut shut them out 4-0. Now 3-1-1. They are back in action Wednesday when they travel to Arcadia University. Women's field hockey lost to Marywood University on Saturday, 3-1. Melissa Choka with the lone Ramapo goal. They are back in action tomorrow against St. Thomas Aquinas College here at Ramapo. Women's tennis, they took on St. Thomas Aquinas today. So we'll see how that goes.
I should have given you that update.
What, they won?
I have no idea. I actually should have checked before the show.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'll look it up and
We'll look it up and we'll let you know. All right, on to pro updates. Again, Giants lost a heartbreaker last night. Up 10 with 8 minutes to go. Then up 3 with over 1:30 left. They elect not to run it. Make it 26-20 with 1:30 left. And the Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo took his team down the field, and then this happened. Yep, Cowboys won it 27-26, outgaining the Giants in yards 436-289. The Giants will play the Falcons next week, though, at MetLife Stadium, and the Cowboys have another division game in Philly next week. On the other side of the ball, the Jets are 1-0. They beat the Cleveland Browns 31-10. Chris Ivory, 91 yards and 2 TDs on 20 carries. Brandon Marshall, 6 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. Bad and good news, kind of. Antonio Cromartie did leave the game, but it turns out he only had a sprained knee. He's listed week to week. Not ruled out for next week's game against the Colts on Monday night. Lorenzo Mullen left the hospital earlier today. He suffered a concussion. However, he has no neck injury. Monday Night Football, first of the week. Eagles at Falcons tonight at 7, followed by the Vikings and 49ers at 10:30. So tune into ESPN for that. The Yankees lost 3 of 4 to the Blue Jays on the weekend, which was not a good job for them. They won the lone game of the series yesterday 5-0, though. Tanaka with 7 innings of shutout ball, 7 Ks, 4 hits. Dustin Ackley with a 2-run homer. The Yankees will start a crucial 9-game road trip tonight in St. Petersburg to play the Tampa Bay Rays. CC Sabathia, Erasmo Ramirez on the bump tonight. First pitch is at 7:10. The Mets won their 7th game in a row yesterday by sweeping Atlanta in 4 games. They scored 5+ in all games of their current win streak. Yesterday, Daniel Murphy tied the game with a 3-1 home run with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. He scored 3 more in the top of the 10th. They are now up 9.5 games in the division. Their magic number is 11 wins. They start a 3-game series in Queens tonight against the Marlins. Tonight, it's Logan Verrett versus Justin Nicolino. On to the U.S. Open, Novak Djokovic defeated Roger Federer in 4 sets yesterday to win. This is his 3rd major victory of the year. Djokovic having a great year. And, yeah, that's it. It's a lot.
We'll be right back after these messages. Beast of the East on WRPR. We'll be right back. What song should I put on? House Party?
Same one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was Sella. You didn't hear that?
What?
That was Sella that called in.
That was who?
Sella that called in.
It was?
Swear to God.
It wasn't his number.
Doesn't matter. I know his voice. It's like, oh, it's Richard.
Yeah.
I knew it was him. Now he's trying. He goes, I haven't called in yet. What are you saying? He's like, trying to say it wasn't him. Why don't we ever pause this when we do the commercials?
I don't know. I should have.
Do you know how to edit that out? I just talk shit
I
about
do.
I just talk
don't
shit
feel like
about
doing it.
Sella. And
Yeah, that's Sella? He'll be alright. Oh, the mics are on. Hey, guys. We'll be alright. Don't worry. Beast of the East. We screwed that one up, didn't we? We really screwed that one up, huh?
oh, well.
We'll be alright.
Yeah.
Beast of the East, Ryan Morgan, Scott Thompson.
If you want to be a homebody.
I'm really embarrassed. That's probably the worst screw up I've had so far.
Hey, oh, well, it happens to the best of us. All right. Let's get to baseball, Ryan.
Sorry you guys had to hear that. You hear that, Sella?
Anyway. Let's talk about the Mets, man.
We'll be alright. Alright. So the New York Mets, they have won 7 in a row. All those wins by 5+. They've had 5+ runs. They don't
every
know
single game during that win streak, yeah.
Yeah, they do not know how to lose. And I saw an incredible stat the other day.
Go ahead.
The Nationals have less of a chance of making the postseason, despite their 72-70 record, than the Boston Red Sox, who are in last place in the American League.
You're serious?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
And the Nationals are 9.5 games out of the NL East. They are, I don't know how many games out in the wild card. I know it's double digits.
Yeah. Yeah, let me find it real quick.
The Mets, they don't know how to lose. They know how to win, and they want to win. They have their true identity. We talked about this the other day. The Yankees don't have their true identity. The Mets do.
Yeah, the Nationals are 10 games back in the wild card.
10 games back in the wild card. I think the Red Sox are...
The Red Sox are 7.
It's a joke.
Anyway. Yeah, the Mets are having... I think they're having the season of their lives right now. This is so rejuvenating for Mets fans because they're usually used to dwelling on the past and, maybe next season. Saying maybe next season.
Maybe next season.
Who knows? But no, it's this season.
This is next season for them.
This is now, right now. And Terry Collins smiling on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
We're not used to that. But, yeah, coming from a family who was half Mets, half Yankees, we're definitely hearing it right now from the other half. Because the Mets, in my opinion, are the best team in New York right now. No, I said it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, the Mets are a much better team than the New York Yankees.
They're running away with this. The legit running away. They can't lose. Even when they were down against the Braves, you knew, uh-oh.
It is the Braves.
I mean, yeah, but you knew
But
the
it
Mets were
is
going to
the
find a
Mets.
way to come back.
The Mets clinched their first season, their first 500 season for the first time since 2008, I believe.
And they can clinch the NLDS and possibly get home field advantage. When was the last time that happened?
They are a half a game behind the LA Dodgers. The Mets are 82-61. The Dodgers are 82-60. Would you want, in a 5-game set, would you want home field advantage or no? 5-game set, 2-2-1.
2-2-1. Yes. Why?
Why?
I don't know. I just think that home field advantage is just it's just such a definitive factor to me. I mean, a lot of people look at it as it's just a game. They're playing. Yeah, I get that it's home. I get that it's away. But it's just such a definitive
But-
factor to me.
But is it really home? You have to. Here's how I look at it with with all the formats, the 2-2-1, the 2-3-2. You need to decide in a 2-2-1 series. How long do those series usually last?
I'd say if you want to average it, probably 4.
There's my point. I think you would want Game 4 at your home field
No to me though. No, because
because you can obviously get Game 5 on your own home
but
field.
to me, the Mets fans this year are selling out Citi Field every
Right.
single postseason game.
Right.
So that I don't see them if they're going to get home field advantage. I think these young kids are going to be pumped up, and those 2 games are going to be highly, highly in favor of the Mets because they're going to have such a backing in this postseason. There's going to be every single T-shirt you can think of being made. You're going to see just so much Mets pride, excuse me, throughout the postseason. And to me, I feel like those first 2 games, if they get home field advantage, would be absolutely awesome. But on the other side, if they don't get home field advantage, I can definitely see them, like you said, maybe winning one on the road and coming back and finishing it at Citi Field. I just think Citi Field this year, this postseason is going to be rocking.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
They haven't made the postseason since 2006. They're selling out every game. It's not even October yet.
We need postseason baseball back in Queens.
Postseason baseball back in Queens.
Who thought we'd
is
be
one
saying
of
that?
The best things to happen to this sport in a really, really long time. The Yankees and Mets, both.
Yeah.
The Yankees haven't made the postseason since 2012.
There's a chance at another Subway Series.
I would love that.
Small chance, but
Yankees just got to start playing. Well, we'll get to the Yankees in a couple minutes. But real quick, I want to talk about Matt Harvey.
again,
Because they just came out with the news that they're not going to skip a lot of his starts. They're just going to shorten a lot of them.
so basically what they would be doing in the postseason.
Right.
I like it. Can I tell you why I like it?
Please, if you can convince me.
Their
Go ahead.
bullpen.
It's awful.
Their bullpen also gets a chance to see what they will be facing in the postseason.
But the bullpen is bad.
But
that
they-
doesn't matter.
I understand it might be bad. Yes, Tyler Clippard and Familia are putting in good innings, but other than that, it's almost like the Yankees. Betances and Miller are putting in good innings, but other than that, we have a little bit of an issue. But if they can understand, if they can get a feel for, okay, Matt's going to go a max 5 2/3, 6, we need to step up. We need to help our team win. So if you're going to ease them into that, I like it. I do. But again, we can't be pitching Tyler Clippard and Tyler Clippard and Familia. I mean, every single night. Do you really want to do that? I mean, you kind of have to, right?
But then the more they throw, they're going to be exhausted. Look at what happened with Betances and Miller. Betances, the game that we went to, he was being used a lot by Girardi, and he almost blew that game. They were up 3 runs. He walked 3 people, and the bases were loaded. He's lucky he got out of that inning.
Yeah.
If you overwork the bullpen that's already bad, it's not good. This is a bad bullpen, and if you're going to rely on them for 4 or 5 plus innings for the rest of the season, the 9.5 game lead is going to be safe. But then you're looking at the division series against most likely the Dodgers, and you have no shot because the bullpen's going to blow it.
You got to bear down. The bullpen has to understand that they are going to be an extremely definitive factor in the postseason. And they need to bear down, and they need to pick their pants up, put on their belt, put on their glove, and pitch. Pitch what you're supposed to be there. You're there for just that. You pitch. You're on the mound.
But they can't pitch.
They're going to have to. I understand you're saying can't, but got to look at it optimistically. Matt's going to put in this.
No Met fan looks at anything optimistically. Are you kidding me? They have a 9.5 game
But
lead.
being
People are still
optimistic-
saying they're going to blow it.
Be an optimistic sports radio talk show host.
I am.
For me. No,
you
you're
know,
not.
I am never pessimistic. You kidding me?
You just said they're really bad.
They are really bad. That's not being pessimistic. That's just stating facts. They're bad.
At the end of the day, bear down, pitch, do your job.
Good luck. Good luck, Mets. Because if Harvey's throwing 5 innings, you're done.
Good
You're
luck,
done.
Mets, because
Wait till next year. We're bringing back the saying because the bullpen's throwing for 4 or 5
right.
innings. They can't throw. Harvey needs to throw.
he needs to, but he's not going to. We already established this.
We did already establish it.
Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other borough.
I want to go to sleep. I'm exhausted.
Anyway, let's go to the other borough. The Yankees with a god awful series against the Blue Jays. Ryan, please tell me they're gonna at least make the playoffs.
They're gonna. All right. Wow, you are a hypocrite.
I'm sorry.
Ryan, be an optimistic radio dog.
Just tell me,
You high key. You're high key a hypocrite.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Anyway, Yankees biggest series in years, probably 3 years. Their biggest series, and they lost 3 out of 4 at home. One of them on September the 11th. I thought that game was going to be a huge momentum swing, and here's why. September 11th, obviously a day where the entire country is rooting for one another. And obviously the Yankees are at home. So you know the crowd is going to be wild. And then they're playing Toronto, which is a country versus country game. I know, stating the obvious. But that game right there is the game that they should have won. And Severino did not pitch well at all. And that set the tone for the entire series. And then you go into the doubleheader. Let's be real. We heard it on the Michael K. show before. Joe Girardi did not manage very well at all.
No.
At one point, it was 5-4, bottom of the 8th. Men on first and second. Ellsbury and Gardner at first and second. Wild pitch. Ellsbury takes third. Gardner doesn't take first. I was listening to it on the radio, so I'm not sure if he got a bad read or not. But that happened. So first and third. Why isn't Brett Gardner stealing? Probably because Cecil's on the mound and he's a lefty. But then he gets in a rundown, send Ellsbury, and then go the old school way. You have Brian McCann up, and then he winds up getting a single, ties it up. If Gardner's on second, he scores. That's the game-winning run. The Yankees win. And then that sets the tone for the second game in the doubleheader. Because who knows what would have happened if the Yankees won the first game of the doubleheader, because the Yankees went into the game 11 innings, rain delay. Chasen Shreve and Brian Mitchell walked 25 guys in the top of the 11th inning.
Let's not even talk about that.
And that set the tone right there for the second game. And they didn't play the second game very well at all. The only bright spot of this series was Masahiro Tanaka, who has proven that he can be an ace, and when the Yankees need him, he can throw. Yeah. That's the only bright spot the Yankees had all weekend.
But at that point, it didn't matter, because those three losses were such a travesty to their chance of trying to at least pick up the division. And I don't know, it was just, again, it was a woeful team that didn't show me that they wanted it. You know, just simple not performing. Again, like you said, Mitchell and Shreve, not being able to find the strike zone. Again, you come in for an inning or two max, find the strike zone. Yeah, I know Shreve couldn't throw a ball down the middle, save his life, honestly.
And you know what? Going back to the bad managing by Joe Girardi, I've been a huge fan of Joe Girardi.
All season, especially for trying to make the best of what he has with him.
And he's done a very good job, along with his coaching staff. I think he's a binder guy. We all know he loves the stats. He loves his binder. But I think he's managed the bullpen very well up until the last couple of games. I don't think Betances should have came in the game yesterday. They're winning 4-0, but Girardi has no trust in anyone except Betances and Miller.
It's almost like the Mets, you know. Terry Collins, yes, the Mets are on a streak.
But Justin Wilson and Chasen Shreve, they're in a rough spot right now. But Chasen Shreve has been dominant all year. Justin Shreve has a strikeout machine. I think he's averaging a strikeout an inning. They've been very good. But now, Betances threw yesterday. He threw the first game of the doubleheader. First game in a new series at Tampa Bay tonight. He's not available. So and you have CeCe Sabathia starting tonight. He's a 5-inning guy. So now you got to rely on Chasen Shreve and Justin Wilson, probably Adam Warren, for 3 or 4 innings until Andrew Miller can come in.
Yeah.
So you don't have Dylan Betances tonight. You almost didn't have Andrew Miller tonight because he was warming up yesterday, which is ridiculous. 4-0 ball. See, that's Girardi's problem. If he sees a lead slipping at any point,
Miller,
he will bring in Betances and Miller. I remember against Boston, they were winning 13-8, and he brought in Betances because it went from 13-3 to 13-8, and Girardi was in panic mode.
Yeah.
He's usually very good with the bullpen, but when he sees a lead slipping, you could be up 6 runs, and he doesn't trust anyone except Betances and Miller. And now you don't have Betances tonight, and CeCe is going to throw 5 innings.
Okay. Well, you know what? It comes down to what are you going to do to put together a win each night to make sure that you solidify a spot in the playoffs. You know?
Beast of the East from Studio A at Ramapo College of New Jersey, Mahwah, New Jersey on WRPR 90.3 FM. Ryan Warwick and Scotty Thompson. We are the Beasts of the East. We'll be right back with our Beasts of the Week. But first, some messages. All right. It's time for Beasts of the East. No, it's time for the Beasts of the Week. On Beasts of the East. There we go.
Ryan, who you got?
I'm going with my boy Tyler Eifert, obviously. Tight end, Cincinnati Bengals, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got me 36 fantasy points. Tyler Eifert, congratulations. I know you're listening. You are my beast of the week. Scotty T, what you got?
Even though they lost in their game against the Green Bay Packers, Matt Forte had a great game, and that's why he's my beast of the week. 141 yards on 24 attempts, 1 touchdown, and averaging basically 6 yards carry. Matt Forte, always a prolific runner.
Too bad Matt Forte can't stop me in fantasy. I'm going 4-0 this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Beast of the East. That's Scotty T. I'm Ryan Mork. Scotty T, any last words?
You're hungry. I'm hungry. I'm really
starving.
hungry. But the Yankees better.
Come, just win. Just win a game, please.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all I got.
We are the Beast of the East. Thank you for tuning in. It's not goodbye. See you later. Take care, everybody.